in those times of stress, we're not operating from our heart. We're not operating from our intuition. We're operating from our mind. I think just being able to get out of those stories and into the heart is where I found the sauna and cold plunge practice be so beneficial for me and so many others. It's improving your VO2 max. It's releasing heat shock proteins, detoxing all these toxins that we're absorbing through our food and through our environment. This is helping get rid of those. And then the cold plunge is sucking all the inflammation out of our muscles. How cool is it to just turn on your sauna from your phone, get it all heated up? A big draw to the saunas that we're building is they're built to last. We have like 5 layers of insulation. It's going to keep all that heat in there. It's going to last you forever, and we can tailor it to your space.
All right, welcome everybody to the Unreasonable Health Podcast. This is your host today, Cade Archibald, and I am really excited to introduce our guest today, Cole Painter, the visionary founder of New Primitive Sauna and Cold Plunges. He's dedicated his life's work to providing innovative wellness tools that empower individuals to reclaim their vitality and connect deeply with their natural rhythms. Drawing inspiration from ancient practices and modern science, Cole's approach blends tradition with innovation, creating spaces and tools that elevate physical, mental, and emotional well-being. His work with saunas and cold plunges reflects a commitment to harnessing the therapeutic power of nature, fostering resilience, and offering transformative health benefits. Through New Primitive, Cole is not just delivering wellness solutions, but championing a movement that redefines self-care for a modern world. How about that for an introduction, Cole?
I think that's the best I've ever heard it. Well done.
Great. Well, glad to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk more about wellness in general and New Primitive.
Well, I'm really excited to learn more about it because I know when we first met, just for those listening, it was awesome because Cole showed me your website and some of the demos of the saunas and cold plunges that you put together. And Reagan and I, we do these health accelerator challenges. Usually they always include hot and cold exposure. And we've spent lots of money as well as lots of time at some of the Russian banyas. And like there's one in San Francisco that we loved going to. We do like events there. And then there's one in LA. But they had the saunas, the cold plunges, you have a hot tub, sauna, cold plunge, and you just cycle through that. And the euphoric feeling that I would get there. But anyways, when you showed me the pictures of what you've been doing for outdoor living spaces, like in backyards and everything, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing. So I was really stoked about it. But yeah, what like got you to that point where you're like, what gave you that inspiration?
Yeah, it really started out like your typical founder story of just solving your own wellness issues. Like I kind of ran into a standstill with my own personal health and realized I had to make some changes. And so I was like, man, well, what would I really enjoy? What are the tools that I think, have really helped me and would love to share with people? And I wanted to give people the space to be able to go and help them along their own wellness journey.
Very cool. So yeah, was there like, and I know your background, you kind of built a great robust sales team and organization there, and then you dove into this. But yeah, I'm curious, like,
yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit?
Yeah, I can elaborate a little bit more.
The health concerns, or like I'm really curious how you like develop this plan, because I just like when you showed me those plans, and like I hope everyone can have a chance to look at this. And maybe if you have any of those, we do publish this on YouTube, so we could show some like demonstrations of what it looks like. But these are gorgeous, like sauna cold plunge things where you can do some really cool stuff. And so I just want to share this with our audience and show them how rad it is.
Yeah, so really, I mean, the inspiration came when I first set out on my wellness journey. I set out to build these off-grid wellness retreats, and it had to do with luxury tiny homes placed on this really picturesque piece of, you know, just out in nature on this really cool piece of land. And wellness was a huge part of that. I wanted to provide these saunas that immersed people into the nature experience and kind of integrate this whole wellness protocol along with this experience. I started there, and that was the space, I guess, that I wanted to provide for people, and to just allow them to disconnect from the chaos of the world and all the, I was in my previous job, I was very determined and chasing after the accolades and wanted to be successful. And I just ran myself into the ground to where I was facing burnout, and I had ulcers in my stomach and my body was super inflamed. Like I was just holding on to so much stress, and I didn't know what it was. And so for me, it was really a challenge to kind of get connected with myself and who I am and kind of my authentic expression. And for me, that was being able to go out in nature, go on runs, sit in a quiet sauna, breathe through the cold plunge, the uncomfortable feelings and emotions that come up in those exercises, and be able to deal with them. Because at the time it was really overwhelming. It was like during COVID, and I was just really looking at like, man, what's really the root of all this? And so to me, I don't think that's anything that someone could tell you what the root of it is for you. And so I wanted to provide a space, a quiet space, and these effective tools like sauna and cold plunge that could help people kind of reconnect with who they are and their authentic expression. And these are just amazing tools for that.
Love that. Yeah. What do you think's missing in most people's approach to their wellness? I, I'd imagine there's not. I think maybe in the clubs we hang out with, the people are a lot more into that. But like in general, what do you see, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think like at first you're kind of looking for all the answers outside of yourself. Like you want the quick fixes. And I get that. Like that was me. I wanted to point a finger at anything outside myself that was causing me to feel the way that I did. And no matter where I pointed that finger, I wasn't getting answers. And it wasn't a quick process, and it was a really uncomfortable process. And so I think a lot of people are just missing that a lot of those health issues and those issues you're facing are inside of you. And I think that's really the truth that I found throughout my wellness journey, is that, you are the guru. You're the one that knows best that for you and your body, and your body will tell you. You just have to get quiet enough to listen.
Nice. Love that. Yeah. So, we look at, looking internally, and then, sauna, like heat exposure and cold exposure, two really big extremes. Like I, I've followed Wim Hof for a while. I'm assuming you're very familiar with Wim Hof, but doing like Wim Hof breathing in the freezing cold. But what are some of the maybe subjective or What are some of the benefits you've noticed from hot and cold or sauna and cold plunges from a physical and mental standpoint? And maybe we can even talk about some of the scientific changes if we want to go that deep.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what's advertised a lot here in the States is the physical benefits, and they say some significant benefits. Like there's really some awesome physical benefits, but what I've grown passionate about is really the practice. Over in Finland and Scandinavia and these Norwegian countries, like this is a sacred practice for them. The sauna is like a temple for them. And I think that's what it's become for me, especially as I've even grown this business. I'm like the perfect case study because there's so many fires and things come up in your day to day that we just don't really have the tools to be able to deal with. Like it really comes back to stress and how you deal with stress. And the sauna has been a place where I've been able to deal with stress, take away inflammation. Like when my nervous system just feels like it's in fight or flight, I'm able to have a really, sacred time in the sauna and cold plunge to relax my body and relax my nervous system and find clarity. Because in those times of stress, we're not operating from our heart, we're not operating from our intuition, we're operating from our mind, and our mind will only tell stories. And I think just being able to get out of those stories and into the heart is where I found the sauna and cold plunge practice be so beneficial for me and so many others.
Yeah, I love that concept of, it's like a temple. You can make it like really nice and sacred, create some routine and structure around it and some spirituality. I really like that thought of it because it can be so just relaxing, rejuvenating, and it feels so nice. But it's also, it gets uncomfortable sitting in the heat for super long time. And then when it comes to getting in the cold, that's especially if you're all nice and like, toasty, and then it's time to step outside in the cold plunge. And I know one of your cold plunges or one of your units. And just for the listeners, so Cole's designed this amazing company, New Primitive, but they have these sauna and cold plunges. They can be like single units, or you can have like a big, and I'll let you explain it. You're going to be a lot better, but just me looking at the images, I was like, this is so cool. Love the concept. You have like a 12-person sauna in a room, and just right next to it's the cold plunge. And this could be theoretically in your backyard, or any outdoor space. But what I love is I wouldn't have to step out of the sauna to get into the cold plunge. I can just hop into the cold plunge because when it's freezing cold outside, it's not very fun to jump outside and get in the cold plunge. But that's also part of the human experience of making yourself uncomfortable. So it's kind of funny that way. But I love going back and forth between hot and cold. Like that's something that I I moved. I had a house where I had this amazing setup with my ice freezer cold plunge is what I had created. Just out of a deep freezer, made my own cold plunge with a timer so it didn't turn into a big block of ice. And then I had a hot tub so I could like go back and forth. But yeah, I did not have the sauna, and so that's like my goal is to get that in the backyard here very soon. Um, but yeah, so some of the other improvements, so like from just an overall like subjective standpoint, creating ritual behind it, I love that. There's cardiovascular improvements, detoxification, longevity improves pain, muscle recovery. Like that's probably one of the biggest things I notice. Like post workout, if I can get a sauna session in, or any day I work out, or even on off days, if I can get a good session in the sauna and the cold plunge, and my recovery is like 10 times better.
Yeah. Yeah. To touch on the physical benefits is it's like, we really, you have the pillars in health. You have what we eat, you have fuel, movement, and then we have recovery. And recovery encapsulates your physical, your mental, spiritual, whatever. Those three categories kind of aligns all three of them. But the as far as the physical benefits, it's a lazy man's workout, and I think that's the best part. It's like it's
Yeah.
such a good introductory if you're trying to improve your health and you're just wanting to take those baby steps, because when you start to introduce those good habits into your lifestyle, I think that's how you naturally want to start moving more and you naturally want to start eating better. And so to be able to just sign up for to sit in a hot sauna and just lay down, and it speeds your heart rate up, like it gets you to that optimal fat burning heart rate zone, where your body's most efficient. And that's where I think it improves your cardiovascular. So like your heart rate in a sauna is anywhere from 130 to 150, which is, if you're going on a short, like a jog, that's the same heart rate zones that you're going to be sitting in. And so you are stimulating this cardiovascular exercise. So it's improving your VO2 max. It's releasing heat shock proteins to go through and repair your muscle tissue. It's detoxing all these toxins that we're absorbing through our food and through our environment. This is helping get rid of those. And then the cold plunge is sucking all the inflammation out of our muscles. And so you kind of have this like yin and yang effect to having both. And that's where you get contrast therapy. And so when we were approaching the design of these saunas and cold plunge setups, the MP1, the one that you were mentioning, that is all enclosed, 2 rooms, the sauna and cold plunge combination. That was really, I mean, where that was inspired from was bathhouses, like you're explaining, like the banyas, where everything's enclosed. It feels like a spa. It's a really spacious sauna. And then you just open the door and you step into the changing space and cold plunge. So that way it's just really comfortable. It feels like you're just in your own kind of personal retreat. And these are modern structures, so we wanted it to really match the design. That's where the new out of New Primitive comes from, where this is modern technology. We want it to be convenient. We want it to be comfortable and blend in with the overall aesthetics and landscaping of your home. And so that's where the design came from. And then we also have just different configurations of sauna and cold plunge. So if the MP1 doesn't fit in your space, we have a mid-size sauna that you can package together with a cold plunge, or a small sauna that is compact and can basically fit anywhere. And with all of our saunas, you can bundle, hot and cold. So you can have both, and it just kind of becomes this like focal point in your yard and becomes kind of a special space where you step out of your home. Like in our homes, we have our office, we have our kitchen, we have where we sleep, we have, where we lounge and watch TV or whatever. But where's the space that you get to go to decompress and just let go of stress? And for me, that was like, how cool is it to just turn on your sauna from your phone, get it all heated up. We have really cool like mood lighting inside. So when you step outside, you just step into this little retreat space and be able to just let the worries of work or with kids and just relax and fill your cup.
That sounds phenomenal. I love that. Yeah, so you have it set up, the heaters like on Bluetooth or whatever. You can just turn it on straight from your phone, get it all set up, ready to go. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, you can put it on a timer. So if there's if you wake up at 5 a.m, you're early riser, you can put it on a timer to have it heated up by the time you wake up. So when you roll out of bed, you just can go lay in your sauna, or like with my routine, I go on a run or go do my workout, and then I have my sauna already heated up and come back, finish up my kind of wellness routine in the morning with a sauna and cold plunge. And then you're just prepared for the day. It's like, no matter what comes up here, you've already done the hard part.
Yeah. Yeah. And I liked how you said it's like, it's a lazy man's workout. I like it. It really does. It's so rejuvenating though. Like, yes, it's an easier workout. Like if you look at, okay, do I want to go run like 3 miles or do I want to go get in the sauna? But more than likely, I'd prefer to go get in the sauna. There's certain times where I feel like running, but it's just like you feel really reinvigorated afterwards. Feels really nice to just get a good meditation into. Love how you just like painted that picture. I was like, as you were telling me, yeah, just imagine you're just turning the heat up on your sauna. You walk out, you go and have this place of relaxation. I was like seeing myself just ready to get in that sauna. Um, well, so what's kind of what's next with New Primitive? Like any big projects you're working on or big ambitions that you're doing there?
Yeah, so right now, we have our manufacturing facility here in West Jordan, Utah, and that's where we build all of they come completely pre-built when we deliver them, and you can turn them on all in one day. So we have that side just running and we ship nationwide. But we have an indoor side here in Utah where we're building out these sauna and cold plunge studios. So that way, if you can't have this at your home, you can go and experience this at a studio and be able to have a subscription and make this a part of your lifestyle that way. And then, yeah, as far as the future goes, I kind of picture this being a wellness ecosystem where, we're really passionate about retreats and providing that space for people to connect with themselves. And then we have the tools. If you want to take these tools home with you, we want to be a service for that. And so we're really working with a lot of high-end developments right now. We've done projects for like luxury golf resorts like Bandon Dunes, and we're working with a couple partners right now that have some cool golf courses that are opening up where they're planning on implementing these saunas and making them a part of the experience there, and working with a lot of high-end home developers where you can include these saunas as a part of the construction of your home. And I think a big draw to the saunas that we're building is they're built to last. They're not just a kit that gets shipped out in a million pieces and you assemble them, and they're just like, there's no insulation to it. With ours, we have like 5 layers of insulation. It's a really it's going to keep all that heat in there. It's going to last you forever, and we can tailor it to your space. So no matter what space you're working with, whether it's a large space where we can fit the MP1 or a small space, we can tailor the window to whatever view you have in your yard. So if you have a really beautiful view where you're looking at the mountains, you can add this really large panoramic window in the front of your sauna that you can just stare out at the view. And we're customizing the exteriors so that way they blend in and just look like they're part of your home and not this just like obsolete
Yeah.
object that's out in your yard.
That was one thing I noticed when you were showing me some of the mock-ups and images and some of the examples of projects you've done is it just looks like it blends right in with nature. I love the full glass fronts, so it just looks very modern and just really cool look and vibe.
Yeah. And we want this, like, there's so many parts, there's so many aspects to your health. And we just hope that this is just a tool, one of those tools within your health that are going to really provide transformative results. I think a lot of times the answer to our health problems always isn't go faster, or go harder, like in the workout. Sometimes we have to take a step back and say, maybe I need to slow down. Maybe I just need a perspective change. And that's what we hope these tools are. And things like what you and Regan do with East West, where you can go get your hormones checked and your blood tested and really start to dial in your health. And then you add these wellness amenities to what you guys are already doing. And it just becomes this, I think, transformative for anybody.
Thank you, man. Yeah, and this is where I think this bodes really well for any of our listeners or anyone. Like, go check out Cole's work for cold plunge sauna. Like, especially if you want to have some at home TLC, it's a great place to start with some self care. I love it. I love the concept and love what you're doing. Where would be the best place for people to look you up or find you?
So our Instagram is new primitive and the number one. If you check us out there, we always post our projects, and everyone has a unique concept or design that they're doing. And so it's really fun to see the different landscaping projects and homes that we deliver these saunas to. If you're looking for ideas of how this might fit into your yard or space. And then, of course, just our website is newprimitive.io. And we have all our products on there. We list our pricings. You can come check it out. And if this is something you're interested in, you don't want the hassle of having to deal with the site prep and the installer, any of that, we provide a white glove service that just makes it easy and a hassle-free process for you.
Awesome. Love it. Well, any last words, maybe some last thoughts as far as advice or message about health, resilience, wellness? Like what do you want to leave everyone with today?
Yeah, I would say, my signature saying, because it applies to my experience, is like the answers are inside of you and you know what's best. And a lot of times you kind of need some pressure and some heat and some cold to be able to discover those, what is specific to your health and what you need. And just taking that time to be mindful of your health and find that intuition and look at it in a more comprehensive view than just what we're always taught with movement and nutrition. Start looking at it as like, okay, what's your cellular health look like? Like you guys talk about, how can you improve your mitochondria, where your mitochondria is more healthy? Because as you start to improve those on that molecular level, you start to want to make those better choices in your life. And so just that would be my one advice.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Cole. And everybody go check out newprimitive.io or go follow him on Instagram. He's got so many cool concepts and not even concepts. These are projects. They're not, it's reality. So I've been like scrolling them and looking at all these different ways that you can put some really cool sauna, cold plunge combos in your backyard or just an outdoor space. So thanks so much, Cole. Have an awesome day. And we'll see everybody next time on the podcast. So if you like what you heard today, please share this. That's all we ask. Leave us a 5-star review and give it a share to a loved one or a friend, family member that thinks you think they could use a health upgrade. So thanks everybody. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.